Okay, 7.6 part 2 is going to be on the same notes as your part 1. Only what we're going to be looking at on these notes is that you're going to have some inequalities that are in standard form. Okay, so let's start with this first one here. And I don't need to do anything to this one. I'm going to write that this line is going to be solid, remember, because it's also equal to, and greater than means we're going to shade above. So let's go ahead and draw this line. So we're going to put a point at -2 on the y-axis, and this line is going to be a horizontal line through that point. We'll draw our arrows, and then remember, you can lightly shade if you want. So greater than would be on this side of the line. So if I just want to lightly shade that part right there. And now I'm going to look at this second inequality, which I need to get it in standard form first. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. So that would give me 3y is greater than -2x and then -6. And then my final step, I'm going to divide everywhere by 3. So that's y greater than, this is a -2 over 3x, and then -2. Okay? And so for this line here, this line, there's no equal to part, so we know that our line is going to be dashed, and greater than means we're going to shade above. So I'm going to graph this line. So I'm going to graph the y-intercept first at -2, and then I'm going down 2 and right 3, or I could go up 2 and left 3 and put a point. And then I'm going to draw a dashed line through those points. And then for this line, I want to shade above. So remember, I want to go to the y-axis, and I'm shading above that line, which would be here. And so where that shading intersects is my solution. So I'm going to erase this part because this wouldn't be included here. And so my solution of this system would be all of this. And notice, again, you're shading in between those boundary lines of those two lines. Okay, so that's the first one. And we just have one more. So this is the last one. And notice that for both of these, they are in standard form. So we're going to get them in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to add 2x to both sides. And so this new line becomes, so these are going to cancel, y less than, and this is 2x plus 7. And so this line, if I look at the symbol, this is going to be a dashed line because there is no equal to part. And for less than, I'm going to shade below. So now we're going to graph that line. So I'm going to go up to 7 on my y-axis and put a point. And then I'm graphing a slope of 2 over 1. So I'm going to go up 2 and right 1, or I could go down 2 and left 1. And then using our ruler, we're going to draw a dashed line through these points. Okay? So there's our line. And then I'm just going to lightly shade. So again, I want to go to where my line is crossing the y-axis, which is right here. Oops. Oh, I don't know. Here we go. Get out of here. Okay, which is right here. Hold on. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. So I'm going to where my line crosses the y-axis, and I want to shade below. So I'm shading on this side of the line. So just very lightly, I'm going to shade on this side of that line. And then I'm going to do my second line. So my second line, I need to get it in slope-intercept, so I'm going to subtract 4x on both sides. And so I have 2y is greater than or equal to negative 4x minus 2. And then I'm going to divide by 2 everywhere. Remember, if we would divide by a negative, we would want to flip our symbol. So this is y is greater than or equal to negative 2x minus 1. And so this one, if I look at this symbol, this time my line is going to be solid, and the greater than symbol means I want to shade above. So we're going to graph this line. We're going to put a point at negative 1 on the y-axis. Then this is a negative slope, so I'm going down 2 and right 1, or up 2 and left 1. And then we're going to draw a solid line through those points, which that wasn't a very good line there. Okay, close enough. It's fine. You understand what it's supposed to look like. And for this line, I go to where it's crossing the y-axis, and I want to be shading above it. So I am shading on this side of my line. And so where that shading is intersecting is my solution. So I'm going to erase this extra shading over here. And my solution is all of this right here. That is the solution to this system. Okay? And that concludes 7.6 Part 2.